Most Cup Series wins. Richard Petty, 200 victories. Richard Petty's 200 NASCAR Cup Series wins are the most prolific mark in stock car racing history. Dubbed the King, Petty competed from 1958 to 1992, and he amassed nearly double the victories of the next highest Cup driver, David Pearson, with 105. No modern-era driver has ever reached half of Petty's total. Jeff Gordon ranks highest amongst recent stars with 93 wins. Petty raced in an era that often featured significantly more events per season. He won 27 races in 1967 alone, and he routinely dominated the competition. Under today's 36-race Cup seasons, a driver would need to average over 5 wins every year for 35 to 40 years to even approach 200, an almost unimaginable feat. Given today's stronger competition, greater parity in equipment, and other structural changes in NASCAR, Petty's 200 wins are widely seen as untouchable. This record stands as a testament to Petty's longevity and skill, and remains a cornerstone of NASCAR history, a mark very few expect any driver ever to match. Most Cup Series championships. Richard Petty, Dale Earnhardt, and Jimmie Johnson, 7 titles each. No driver has ever won more than 7 NASCAR Cup Series championships, a record shared by 3 legendary figures: Richard Petty, Dale Earnhardt, and Jimmie Johnson. Petty won his titles between the mid-1960s and late 70s. Earnhardt achieved his across the 1980s and the 1990s, and Johnson famously captured 5 of his 7 consecutive from 2006 through 2010, adding 2 more in 2013 and 2016. Their septuple championship mark has become the gold standard of NASCAR greatness. Since Johnson clinched his 7th title in 2016, no active driver is close to this benchmark. The highest amongst active drivers is Joey Logano with 3 championships, meaning he'd need 4 more just to tie. Given today's playoff format, its inherent unpredictability and much higher level of depth and competition, winning even a couple of championships is difficult, let alone 7. Many of today's top drivers and analysts regard the 7-title record as effectively unbeatable. Achieving an 8th championship would demand decades of sustained excellence and consistency at levels comparable to the sport's greatest. And as NASCAR's championship system increasingly emphasizes parity, postseason pressure, and winner-takes-all finales, it becomes even more unlikely that any driver will break this hollowed mark. Most NASCAR Cup Series pole positions. Richard Petty, 123 poles. Richard Petty's 123 career pole positions, that is, number 1 starting spots in the Cup Series, are another long-standing record that few believe will ever be broken. Earning the pole demands pure one-lap speed, and Petty demonstrated that ability across his 35-year career, routinely securing multiple poles in many seasons. For context, the second highest total is 113 poles by David Pearson, and the modern-era leader is Jeff Gordon with 81 poles. During Petty's era, the 1960s through the 1980s, there were seasons in which drivers regularly amassed double-digit poles, a phenomenon that occurs far less frequently in modern NASCAR. In recent decades, increased parity and more standardized equipment have made it rare for a single driver to dominate qualifying. No active driver even holds half of Petty's 123. The active leader with the most poles, Denny Hamlin, sits at just 46, well short of Petty's 123. Considering modern competitive balance, fewer pure qualifying sessions due to rainouts or metric-based lineups, and the difficulty of stringing consistent pole laps, many believe Petty's 123 poles will remain unchallenged indefinitely. It highlights his dominant speed across decades, a level of qualifying excellence that modern drivers aren't likely to replicate. Most consecutive NASCAR Cup Series championships. Jimmie Johnson, 5 in a row. Jimmie Johnson's streak of 5 consecutive Cup Series championships from 2006 through 2010 is a remarkable record, one that many consider unbreakable in the modern era. Prior to Johnson, no driver had won more than 3 in succession. Cale Yarborough did it 3 straight years in 1976, 77, and 78, but Johnson's achievement demanded extraordinary focus and performance for over half a decade, navigating NASCAR's playoff chase format each year while facing up-tier competition. His streak was so exceptional that some observers claim NASCAR changed rules over time to Jimmy-proof the championship. Yet, he continued to win under evolving formats. In the years since, no driver has come close to replicating that level of dominance. The playoff system's one-race finale, elimination rounds, and intensifying competition make winning back-to-back championships a challenge, let alone 5 straight. As ESPN noted, Johnson's 5 in a row stands alongside Petty's 200 wins as one of NASCAR's most untouchable accomplishments. Given the slim odds of any future driver matching this level of sustained championship success, Johnson's 5 consecutive titles remains a signature mark, a record many believe is unlikely to ever be broken. Oldest Cup Series race winner, Harry Gant, 52 years old. When Harry Gant took the checkered flag at Michigan on August 16, 1992, he was 52 years and 219 days old, making him the oldest driver ever to win a NASCAR Cup Series race. Gant had already set the record a year prior at age 51, and then broke his own mark with that 1992 victory. Nicknamed Mr. September for a hot streak of wins at age 51, Gant proved that veteran savvy and experience could prevail against younger competition. By comparison, very few drivers continue winning into their late 40s, and virtually none reach their 50s in top-tier equipment. The demands of NASCAR's long seasons and the reflexes needed for racing mean more drivers retire by their mid-40s. Gant's 1992 win capped an illustrious career and set a benchmark that still stands over 3 decades later. The oldest winner since then was Bobby Allison at age 50 in 1988, yet no one has come close to surpassing Gant's record. Thus, Harry Gant's record as the oldest Cup winner remains a testament to longevity and skill, and it's one of NASCAR's most durable records. Most NASCAR Cup Series starts: Richard Petty, 1,184 races. Richard Petty also holds the all-time record for most Cup Series starts with 1,184 career races run. Over a 35-year span, Petty practically became an institution on the track, rarely missing a race, maintaining long consecutive start streaks, and competing in many events each season, especially in NASCAR's earlier decades. This total is staggering in comparison. For instance, Petty's start count is more than double that of David Pearson, who had around half as many starts, in the 600 to 700 range. Even Ironman drivers of the modern era haven't come close. The next closest driver, Ricky Rudd, made 906 starts, still over 200 shy of Petty's mark. With modern NASCAR seasons capped at roughly 36 races per year and many drivers starting their Cup careers later and retiring earlier than in Petty's era, accumulating even 1,000 plus starts now is nearly impossible. Petty's durability and unwavering commitment behind the wheel are the central reasons why this record persists. He's often cited as having won in his 600th start, a rare feat that further underscores his consistency and competitiveness. Given the physical demands and risks inherent of racing, as well as modern athletes' focus on quality over quantity of seasons, 1,184 starts is a plateau that likely won't be matched. Youngest NASCAR National Series champion, Chase Elliott, 18 years old. Chase Elliott became the youngest champion in NASCAR National Series history when he clinched the 2014 NASCAR Xfinity Series title at the age of just 18 years, 11 months, and 11 days old. Elliott, the son of NASCAR Hall of Famer Bill Elliott, captured the second-tier series, then known as Nationwide Series, championship as a rookie, breaking the previous record held by Brian Vickers, who was 20 years old when he won a title back in 2003. Chase's youth and quick success were unprecedented. He balanced high school with racing and still managed to outperform veteran drivers over the full season. Even in the Premier Cup Series, the youngest ever champion was 21-year-old Bill Rexford in 1950, a mark that has stood for decades. Elliott's feat at 18 is even more impressive and is unlikely to be lowered. NASCAR's progression system typically has young drivers spend years in lower series before contending for championships, making it rare for a teenager to even be in such a position. In today's era, drivers must be 18 years old to run full schedules, and it's hard to imagine someone immediately winning a championship at that age. Chase Elliott's 2014 title will likely remain the youth record, symbolizing a perfect convergence of talent, opportunity, and timing that is hard to replicate. Most NASCAR Cup Series wins in a season: Richard Petty, 27 wins in 1967. Richard Petty's 27 victories in the 1967 season are the all-time single record, a mark so extreme it is widely considered essentially unbreakable in modern NASCAR. In 1967, Petty won more than half of the 48 races on the schedule, including a streak of 10 in a row, another record in its own right. No other driver has approached 27 wins in a season. The next best single-season total is Petty's own 21 wins in 1971. In the more modern era, the record is 13 wins. Jeff Gordon in 1998 and Petty also had 13 wins in 1975. To surpass 27 wins today, a driver would need to win 75% of a 36-race schedule, a nearly impossible feat given the depth of competition and unpredictability in modern NASCAR. Even the most dominant modern campaigns, for example, Kyle Larson's 10-win season in 2021, fell far short of Petty's 1967 benchmark. Petty's 1967 campaign, when nearly everything aligned for the number 43 team, stands as a pinnacle of excellence unlikely to be seen again. 27 wins in a single season is a record that epitomizes why Petty is called the King. Most Xfinity Series race wins: Kyle Busch, 102. Kyle Busch holds the all-time NASCAR Xfinity Series wins record with 102 victories in that series. This total is quite staggering. It more than doubles the next highest driver's win count. Legendary Xfinity racer Mark Martin only had 49 wins. Busch dominated the Xfinity Series, formerly known as the Busch and Nationwide Series, especially in the 2000s and 2010s, often winning multiple races and limited appearances each year while he was simultaneously a full-time Cup Series star. His aggressive driving style and superior equipment when driving for Joe Gibbs Racing helped him pile up wins at an unprecedented rate. In 2010 alone, Busch won 13 Xfinity races, setting a single-season record for that series. Today, series rules now limit how many Xfinity Race Cups veterans can enter, preventing anyone from similarly racking up triple-digit wins. Younger drivers who find success in Xfinity typically move up to Cup before approaching such lofty numbers, with Busch having largely stepped back from Xfinity competition after surpassing the 100-win milestone. His mark appears untouchable. 102 Xfinity wins is a record that showcases Busch's extraordinary talent and longevity across NASCAR's tiers, and it's very unlikely that any driver will have the combination of opportunity and dominance needed to break it. Longest Cup Series winning streak: Richard Petty, 10 consecutive races. During his incredible 1967 season, Richard Petty achieved a 10-race winning streak, the longest in NASCAR Cup Series history. Petty won 10 straight races over the summer of 1967, a run of dominance that showcased perfect reliability, skill, and even luck for the Petty Enterprises team. To put this in perspective, modern drivers rarely win more than 2 or 3 races in a row due to the highly competitive fields and varying track types. Even in Petty's era, such a streak was unheard of. It broke the previous record, which was much lower, and no driver since has approached double-digit consecutive wins. As Petty himself later remarked, just finishing 10 races in a row without trouble is hard enough, let alone winning them all. NASCAR's evolution, with more parity, shorter schedules, and playoff pressure, all but ensure 10 straight wins will remain the high-water mark. The record is frequently cited as one of the sport's most unbreakable achievements, highlighting a period when Petty was virtually unbeatable. It's a testament to one team's sustained excellence and a record that has stood intact for over half a century. Most Truck Series race wins: Kyle Busch, 67 wins. Kyle Busch also owns the NASCAR Truck Series win record with 67 victories as of 2025. Busch's success in the Truck Series, now known as the Craftsman Truck Series, is similarly prolific. He surpassed the previous win record of 51, set by Hall of Famer Ron Hornaday Jr. Busch achieved these wins despite usually running a partial schedule in trucks, often winning 4 to 5 races in the limited events he entered per year. What makes Busch's 67-win record especially formidable is NASCAR's rules now limiting how often Cup-level drivers may compete in the Truck Series, which reduces opportunities for similar accumulation. Up-and-coming drivers usually graduate to higher series before approaching such a number of truck wins, and no current truck regular is on pace to even come close. Busch's penchant for competing and winning across all series has set a benchmark that's safe for the foreseeable future. 67 truck wins underscores his versatility and skill, and it stands as another record that showcases his all-time status across NASCAR's National Series. Most combined National Series wins: Kyle Busch, 232 wins. Taking his cross-series success to an even higher level, Kyle Busch has 232 total wins across NASCAR's 3 National Series: Cup, Xfinity, and Truck. This is a cumulative record that no other driver has achieved. Even the great Richard Petty, with 200 Cup wins, reached only 200 combined since he didn't race in Xfinity or Truck. Busch's tally includes 63 Cup wins, 102 Xfinity wins, and 67 Truck wins, reflecting nearly 2 decades of triumph since his first National Series victory in 2004. Reaching over 200 combined wins required an extraordinary level of talent and the willingness to race and win in the lower series regularly. Busch often cites that extra track time in Xfinity and trucks helped hone his skills, and the result is a number of victories that is almost unfathomable. The next closest driver in combined National Series wins, Kevin Harvick, has around 120 to 130 total victories, still far short of Busch's 232. Given today's regulations limiting Cup driver participation in Junior Series, it's improbable that anyone will even attempt the kind of schedule Busch used to run. Kyle Busch's 232 combined national wins is a testament to his relentless drive and versatility, and it's widely expected to remain the all-time benchmark for total NASCAR victories. Most Truck Series championships: Ron Hornaday Jr., 4 titles. In the NASCAR Truck Series, Ron Hornaday Jr. set a high bar by winning 4 series championships in 1996, 1998, 2007, and 2009. It is the most in Truck Series history. Hornaday, a Hall of Famer and one of the Truck Series' inaugural stars, secured those titles over a span of 13 years, showcasing both youthful talent and veteran experience. No other Truck Series driver has more than 3 championships. For instance, rivals like Jack Spark and Matt Crafton each have 3 titles, still one shy of Hornaday's record. Hornaday's 4th title in 2009, earned at the age of 51, capped off his legacy as the series championship leader. Breaking his record would require a driver to achieve sustained success in the Truck Series over many seasons. Crafton's longevity gave him 3, but even he hasn't caught Hornaday. Given the trend of driver development and advancement, Hornaday's 4 truck championships remain a towering accomplishment. It highlights a career devoted to the truck circuit and sets a record that is likely to stand for a very long time. Most consecutive seasons with a win: Cup Series, Kyle Busch, 19 years. Kyle Busch recently etched his name in the record books with 19 consecutive Cup Series seasons with at least one race win, from 2005 through 2023. This streak eclipsed the prior record held by Richard Petty, who won in 18 straight seasons, from 1960 through 1977. Busch's ability to find victory lane every single year for nearly 2 decades across different teams and NASCAR's changing generations of race cars exemplifies an extraordinary level of consistency and skill. He had to overcome seasons with slumps, injuries, and team changes, yet still managed to notch at least one win each year to keep the streak alive. In an era of fierce competition and the win and you're in playoff mentality, maintaining such a streak is harder than ever. A driver can easily go winless in a given year due to bad luck or being in subpar equipment. The next longest active streak is significantly shorter. For example, Joey Logano's streak is several seasons behind Busch's former mark. Now that Busch's streak has ended at 19 seasons, it sets a benchmark that future drivers will find very challenging to match. Winning in 19 consecutive seasons underscores longevity at the top level, and it stands as a unique record of sustained excellence in the Cup Series. Are there any more records that you think are unbreakable? Let us know down in the comments below, and be sure to subscribe to the Motorsports Explainer for more videos just like this every single day.